Welcome to another episode of No Talking During the Movies. I am your host, Stephen Austin.
I am just along for the ride. My name is Tank.
Tank is awake, and I made these topics at 4 a.m., so it's movie time!
Yay!
Movie time, yay!
4 a.m. All right, and we're not even on meth, which is crazy.
No, it's insane, and it's so funny too because I was already up at 4 a.m. and when I told Tank, I'm sorry, my notes are a little messed up because I made these so late. He literally goes, "Why did I wake you up?" Because he was texting me at 3:30 a.m. trying to pawn off his Star Trek DVD on me.
Well, I do a lot of my work late at night,
I know
so it's funny because I'll be emailing people at 3:30 in the morning, and people are freaking out. Like, what? What are you? Why?
It was always funny when I would work the really late nights here, and I would have this big graphic on my screen that would show me all of the new stuff added to the system, essentially, like commercials and promos and stuff. And it'd be funny at 3 a.m. suddenly some new commercial would pop up and it just says Tank AC or something like that, because you're doing an AC commercial or something. And I'm like, this guy is recording these commercials at 3 a.m. This is hilarious.
Yeah, I just that's when I do my best work, when I like that real quiet time, you know what I mean? Everybody else in the world's asleep. It goes back to being an overnight radio guy. I've always done that.
I get it. Well, we if the intro sounded a little hot, it's because we immediately had this little spat where I said, "Hey Tank, did you happen to watch the new Coming to America trailer?" And he said, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Good. I'm ready to expletive all over that." And and Tank was like, "What?" And then I said, 3, 2, 1, let's go. So Tank, what did you think of the new Coming to America trailer?
I, number one, thought, wow, there's even more funny stuff than in the first trailer, because I was worried that they blew their wad on the first trailer.
Look, I agree, it was very funny,
which happens sometimes. They'll put all the funniest stuff in the trailer.
Absolutely.
But then there was more fun. There was new funny stuff. Now, I like the new trailer too, because it gives you a lot more of the story. You know what I mean?
That is true.
You get to see the son, you get to see the mom. Tracy Morgan's in this. Looks like he's really funny.
Yeah, it looks like he's playing the uncle,
the uncle. Yeah, the uncle of the kid.
Yes. Okay.
So, and obviously, I don't know if you've if you've read up on this or anything, but what it is he's got 3 daughters with the girl that he married from the original movie.
Right.
And then in this rule that they have, it has to be a male heir takes over.
Of course.
And it turns out he has a son. I'm going to tell you exactly what happens. I
would love to hear your prediction.
Here's what's going to happen. The kid's not going to be his.
That's what I was thinking as well.
Number one.
That's going to be the big shocker at the end.
Because the love between him and Lisa was too pure. That's my only real problem with the whole thing, is that he slept with somebody else while he was in America.
Well, exactly.
I never got that impression during the first movie that he hooked up with anybody else.
Exactly. I'm imagining that the background's going to be something like, oh, well, he was having a good time, like a blackout moment happened or something.
Right. Maybe.
It was with her, but actually it was somebody. It's something like that, which is the only reason why he'd be going along with it. But also, all of this could be solved with a DNA test. So I bet you at the beginning of the movie they're going to be like, DNA test. It'll take 3 days to.
Right. and then he takes him home, and then
exactly. Yeah.
But so it's going to be that, and then in the first movie, the whole theme at the end was, well, are you the king or aren't you?
Right.
And you can change the laws because you're the king. So it seems like the main antagonist in this movie is Wesley Snipes, which it's nice to see him back in movies again.
Yes, when I saw him in the trailer, I was really happy.
I mean, the trailer is it's full of stars. Mm-hmm. It's very funny. There were lots of funny parts. So I would be curious, and it gives you a look into the story. Also, the daughter's going to be the queen. That's what's going to happen.
Absolutely, we know that's going to be the ending.
That's exactly what's going to happen. So, I'm curious to what part of it you didn't enjoy or what you don't like.
Okay, okay. So mainly a lot of it comes from the title of the movie.
Because it's coming to America.
No, because they're not in America. The 80% of that movie is going to be back in the home. I can't remember the name of the kingdom. What is the name of the kingdom?
It's Zamunda.
Zamunda. So why didn't they call it Coming to Zamunda?
I mean, that's actually a really good point. I think though,
because
you not being you not being able to remember the name is a prime example.
Sure,
because
I don't.
Like 80% of the people look. Coming to America was the original movie. This is Coming to America too.
It's true. Yeah. Yeah.
There's no reason to get too clever with it. It's not a Marvel movie. We're not trying to break the internet with names here.
You don't think Coming the number 2 America was too clever?
I mean, I don't think it's clever at all.
Exactly.
So
I feel like it's them being cheeky, and I don't like it. Because the movie doesn't take place in America. They go to America probably. I bet you all the scenes in America probably are like 15 minutes of the movie.
We saw it probably all in the trailer.
Yeah,
already.
Exactly.
Is it maybe it's Coming to America?
That's good. Yeah, I mean, I thought a lot of it was funny, and also more along the lines of I just know what the movie's plot's gonna be. And it'll probably be a good spiritual successor to, not even a spiritual, a good sequel to the original. But I think they're redoing themselves in a weird way. You know what I mean? We kind of discussed that the last time.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be.
It's the same lesson being
like the way
again.
The way Ted 2 was just a rehash of Ted 1, which is just a rehash of repurposed Family Guy jokes.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I get it, and it's just. I don't know. I think it's different for someone your age and for someone my age.
I get that. Like,
because of how big this movie was for us growing up. Like, this was like, we loved this movie growing up.
I didn't see this movie until I was like maybe sophomore year in high school.
Yeah.
So I get that. All right. Well, I'm sure overall, I'm sure the movie is going to be enjoyable. You know what I mean?
March 5th on Amazon Prime. So if you're.
All right, so our next trailer is called Behind Her Eyes, which, by the way, this trailer started, and I was like, oh, no, this is not... From the poster that I saw on IMDb, this looked like it was going to be like a really spooky, creepy vibe, but just from the start of the trailer, I was like, Tank's not going to be into this. This isn't... whatever.
I could not write meh big enough.
Well, yeah, exactly. And honestly, the start of the trailer was giving me that, but as it kept going, it was getting closer to that creepy vibe, which I was into, but also I was like that's one of those I hate to say it, but it's one of those movies that you just like, you scroll and then you're like, huh, that might be something. And then you just put on The Office or something.
Yeah, I
can't do that anymore, though.
I feel like we've seen this movie, and then I don't know. There's so much. Everybody tries to do creepy and horror, and there's just so much of it. It just gets lost in the shuffle.
I was gonna say you're definitely just not a fan of the genre in general, but
not
like,
generally, yeah.
But also like the idea of it being like one girl who connects a lot to the husband and connects a lot to the wife, but the husband and wife don't connect to each other at all. I found that very interesting, and it's like, oh, there's something bigger going on behind it all. I found that very, very interesting, but I guess maybe just the way that they presented it didn't catch me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I feel like the way they're presenting it, like there's been a lot of movies like this where they don't advertise it properly, so you don't really know what you're getting.
Right, exactly. There's plenty of films that they have essentially thrown out like, hey, this is our movie, but the trailer just doesn't do it justice. Like,
I'm trying to think that there's a specific movie I'm thinking of that they advertise it as a horror movie, but it wasn't even close to a horror movie.
I think I might know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about, because it was a big deal. It was a big deal. Like
oh my God, this was a huge.
The director
deal.
was like, why would they,
Yeah, and there's plenty of examples of that where they think like, oh, this is what's going to get people in seats. But it's like, I don't know, just show them what the movie is. It's really upsetting. And also, can I talk, maybe while you're looking this up, I also want to say spoiling things in trailers is also a big problem for me. Um,
Oh, it's Catfish is what it was.
oh, the movie cat. Oh, that's right. Didn't they do like Didn't they play like a choir version of Creep or something under the
No,
trailer?
that's you're thinking of Social Network.
That's right. Social Network did that too. And honestly, I thought the movie was going to be a horror film the way that they did it, and it's not. But it's way better than the Social Network. By the way, is one of my favorite movies.
The choir version of that is meant to represent school choir. By the way, that's
yes,
like a Glee Club kind of deal. But
right,
Catfish was the movie where they advertised it like you were going to walk in on a murder. You know what I mean?
Like something crazy was going to happen.
But by the way, I remember that. I didn't find it. I remembered it off my own mind.
Good for you.
So I kind of remember that because I watched it and I thought, wow, this was a really good movie, but it wasn't at all what I had settled in for.
Yeah,
but I was glad. I was expecting something else, but I was glad about what I got because it was better.
Well, that's awesome. And that's the thing. Like, who knows? Maybe a movie like Behind Her Eyes could do that, but who knows? I'm just gonna wait for the reviews to come out so I can be like, all right, is this movie exactly what I thought it was? Yep.
It's just one of those by the numbers type of deals.
Yeah. Do you like the Social Network? Now I'm thinking about the Social Network.
I love the Social Network.
It's,
yeah, very good.
It's such a good movie.
Very well done movie.
The dialogue in that film is just
super inaccurate, but
did you? Well, yes. Also, did you hear that they wanted to? Who's the guy who wrote and directed Social Network? Oh my God,
Aaron Sorkin.
He said he wanted to do a sequel to the Social Network, but it was all the trials stuff.
Oh wow,
that Mark Zuckerberg had to do, and I'm like, I would be so into that.
He did a show on I believe it was HBO, the Newsroom.
Yes, that's right.
Did you watch that?
I did, and there's that amazing clip of
Jeff Bridges.
Not Bridges, Daniels.
Jeff Daniels, yes.
Jeff Daniels doing the whole like why America isn't great anymore speech, which is so powerful and
it's gone around all over.
Yeah, you see that on every social media. That's actually, I watched that clip and I said, "What is this from?" And then I watched The Newsroom. So yes, I love that show. His writing's just very good.
Very good. It's very smart. Sometimes I think it's a little bit too smart.
Well, yes, that's the other thing. Like, in no way in hell are characters this witty.
Well, see, that's the thing. That's the same with him and the lady that wrote Juno.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
What's the stripper's name?
Oh my God.
Diablo Cody.
Diablo Cody, was that right?
Yeah, that's right. Diablo Cody.
I know who you were talking about.
Diablo Cody. The two movies that I know that she wrote, Juno and Jennifer's Body, both feature this incredibly quippy, intelligent dialogue. But thing is, in real life, not everybody is quippy and intelligent. No. You know what I mean? And I guess maybe it doesn't matter when you're suspending your disbelief.
Sure.
But at the same time, I do believe that you do have to have a range of character.
Oh,
you know
absolutely.
what I mean?
Because everybody in that, like, I'm using Social Network as my example now, for Sorkin, but like everybody is almost as witty as Mark Zuckerberg in that movie.
Right.
Like the Winklevoss twins are saying really great, memorable, catchy, witty lines.
Dude, I'm 6'4" and there's two of me.
Yeah, exactly. Like that stuff is awesome, but I'm also like, not everybody sounds like this. But
to his credit, it is Harvard.
That is true, I will say.
So,
but it does make the movie very enjoyable.
Yeah, Juno, I love Juno.
Juno's
so
great.
I'm not putting down Diablo Cody. I didn't like Jennifer's Body just because I thought it was a stupid plot, but the dialogue was super clever. And there was a really great scene in there with Megan Fox and Amanda Seyfried.
Don't you start. I will say, actually, I've seen this big upswing on love for Jennifer's Body, for the writing and the message that they're trying to send of like accepting who you are kind of stuff. Like very, very I don't know how to say it, like representative. kind of deal. You know what I mean? And I've seen like a big outcry of stuff like that recently, and it made me want to rewatch the movie. So I might give that a rewatch because I didn't enjoy it the first time I saw it either.
You know, I got to be honest with you. I rewatched on your advice Thor: Dark World, and I've definitely softened my position on that.
Really? That's great.
Yeah.
It's funny too because I don't think Thor: The Dark World was the one that I like wanted you to rewatch. I think I just wanted you to watch the first one again. But
I did rewatch the first one again as well.
Oh, okay. The first one is so much better to me after watching it as a Shakespearean play. You know what I mean? Like, because that's the thing. It's Kenneth Branagh, right? Who directed it, and he does stuff in that way. And if you really watch Thor that way, it really fits well. Thor: The Dark World. Yeah, it's still probably my least favorite Marvel film, but there's some really enjoyable bits there. Loki, I think, needs a character study in that movie alone.
Yeah. There were some great moments with him.
Yeah, especially like him projecting looking fine after the mother dies, and then just for the projection to fall apart and the room's a mess and he's just sitting in a corner like a wreck. And I'm like, that is so heartbreaking for this character in a movie that just did not do well. It's really upsetting.
But he caused it. You know what I mean? And that's, I think, maybe even more why he's upset.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
But also, it's the one family member that he actually, I think he truly loved.
Yeah,
you know, he's got love-hate beef with Odin and Thor, but his mother he was always fine with and always loved her. Anyways. Thor: The Dark World, I guess rewatch that one as well as Jennifer's Body and The Social Network.
I'll definitely rewatch that one part.
Shut up. And Juno.
she's wearing the high socks.
I actually
she's wearing the high socks.
Shut up. I loved.
I love high socks.
Shut up. I loved Orange Tic Tacs, and then when I saw the movie Juno, and I was really upset.
Why?
Because I didn't want to be Michael Cera. And then I saw Scott Pilgrim, and then I did want to be Michael Cera.
You kind of are Michael Cera.
A little bit, and I hate it. I mean, my voice isn't as, you know.
Yeah, he's got. I always wonder how that dude gets such top-notch.
I don't know.
Ladies, and he's just
don't know.
There's just nothing. There's no substance, no style. I mean, like, it's one thing if there's like a guy, you know, who looks like that, but he's like incredibly funny or has all these great insights or something like that. But in his movies, he's not only does he look like that, but he's like, you look at Scott Pilgrim, one of our, I mean, we could talk about that movie every week if we wanted to.
Literally my favorite film.
The amazing women that dude gets to be with in that movie. Yep. You know what I mean?
He's literally got like a line of girls that he's like, had relationships with, and I'm just like, how?
Amy Adams? Come on.
Yeah, dog. Exactly. Totally.
She got the high boots on.
Shut up.
Scotty.
It's so
Scotty, she
funny.
wears the high boots.
It's so funny that you brought up Scott Pilgrim. This is just like our conversation yesterday on the Newbie Brothers podcast where you guys were talking about the Super Bowl and I wore a Super Bowl jacket by accident. This shirt I bought because one, I love Scott Pilgrim, and two, I love Astro Boy, and he wears this shirt in the movie.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's so funny that you brought that up, and I'm literally wearing a Scott Pilgrim shirt.
That's funny. See, you are Michael Cera.
I am Michael Cera.
It's you know, it's just it's weird because that's not the only movie like that either, where he's gets the ladies.
Gets the ladies, yeah.
I don't understand it.
I don't know. What was did he get ladies in Superbad? It's been so long since I've watched Superbad.
Well, the girl in there liked him.
That's right. But it was
because that was like the kind of the story, like the driving
right. I was
motivation behind the whole thing.
I was way more distracted by Jonah Hill's whole arc in that movie, because the girl he liked was
Emma Stone.
And you know, it's Emma Stone.
She got the high socks, Scotty.
Shut up! What is this?
Yeah.
This is your go-to today.
I like the high socks.
I
I tell
like
you what, here's what I like. You don't put on no baby doll pajamas.
Okay,
Just
so I
some
think we're gonna move on
some
to our
volleyball
news.
shorts and some high
I
socks.
think we're gonna
And
move on to some news today, Tank. How does that sound
okay.
for you?
Sounds good.
Okay, it's good. I was waiting for a response. So going back a little bit to Marvel, we've got some more information coming out about the Disney Plus show Wars. I can't say it. It's
It's hard to say.
huh?
It's hard to say.
It is
Armor
hard to say.
Wars.
Say it 4 times real fast right now.
Armor Wars. Armor Wars. Armor Wars. Armor Wars.
Damn it.
I'm a professional broadcaster.
And I'm an aspiring one. Armor Wars, Armor Wars, Armor Wars, Armor War.
It's hard, right?
It is hard. So
It's because of the high socks, Scotty.
shut up. Oh my god. I'm gonna get you a spray bottle and just no. So the show will focus heavily on Rhodey, War Machine, which all I could think was, I don't know if War Machine can lead his own show, but they kind of went into how it's going to be dealing heavily with the death of Tony Stark and then what the Iron Man suits will kind of mean for the world afterwards. And it just sounds very interesting, especially just because more Iron Man stuff, give it to me. And War Machine definitely got better and better and better as the end of the MCU was coming around. These last couple of movies, especially Endgame. He shines in Endgame so much.
Yeah, I don't know about War Machine, but Don Cheadle can definitely lead the show.
Well, yeah, exactly.
The outside politics of the whole thing, dealing with Tony Stark's death.
Sure.
Yeah, interacting with Happy and maybe Tony's daughter and stuff like that. I think it's I think there's a lot of great opportunity and a lot of great storytelling to be had there, and I think it's going to be a good show.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it, and apparently they confirmed that he's going to be in Falcon and the Winter Soldier as well. Like he's going to have an appearance, which is great because honestly, these are the faces that are going to be leading the way for the MCU, and we gotta keep seeing them. And that's kind of what we're getting now with WandaVision. I mean, it's been a year since we've had Marvel content, and we got WandaVision, and at this point, it kind of like. It's really weird. The face of Marvel kind of feels like it's those two right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
well, yeah, because that's the only game in town now.
Well, exactly. Like, so even the opening of like the Marvel logo that they do at the opening of WandaVision, and it shows all these. It shows Tony snapping. It shows Cap catching Mjolnir. Like, it shows a Black Panther scene. And all I'm thinking is like, we're not going to get these anymore. Like, at least those three characters, you know what I mean? So I'm like, this is crazy that what we're seeing now is really the shift of where Marvel's going. And, us seeing more Don Cheadle and War Machine and Falcon and Winter Soldier. And, it's really great because it just means like, all right, we got to really push the idea to people that when we start doing movies again, these are the characters that we have.
Yeah.
As we introduce new ones, which is very exciting. It's like an ever-shifting roster. I like where it's going. I'm really excited for the future of the MCU after some of the stuff we've been getting. Speaking of Black Panther and new faces of the MCU, they just announced a Wakanda TV series for Disney Plus, which I think is very interesting, mainly because I'm wondering if. I know Black Panther 2 is still planned, but what if they halt production on Black Panther 2 to make this Wakanda series to kind of introduce us to characters that will have to lead the way through Black Panther 2? You know what I mean?
That would actually be a really smart move.
I think that's what they should do at this point because all I know is that the series will heavily focus on minor or side characters in Wakanda leading the way through some problems in the city itself, in the country itself. So it just makes me think like, okay, so how could this lead to making Black Panther 2 better? Maybe introducing new characters. Maybe they find another one of those heart-shaped plants or whatever that makes somebody the Black Panther hidden somewhere in the city or the country. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So stuff like that is promising to see, like how they could push Black Panther in a new direction in the MCU, and I think that's what we need, other than like a recasting or something.
Right.
What would you kind of like want to see from a Wakanda TV series?
I think it might be kind of an interesting take to see how all the different tribes within the country interact.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because all we
This,
saw was kind of like that ritual in Black Panther, and that was all of them coming
right.
together.
And
But
there's like five different tribes, and
mhm.
they all seem to have like their own like backstory and like
Yeah,
their own. So like the politics of how those five tribes interact, and then M'Baku, my favorite character in the movie besides Black Panther and Eric Kilgore, um,
Killmonger.
they Killmonger, they they seem to even be even more outliers of the tribes. So
Right.
just like the politics of that, I think would be really fun to watch and to get to know the history. And as you get to know those characters, they each tribe has to have their own hero and their own villain and
Right.
their own story, their own economy. So there's a lot you could do. I mean, so I think that's a huge opportunity to, like you said, and I think that's a brilliant observation, is that it's a great opportunity for them to introduce us to characters that normally we've had comic books to kind of get to know,
Yeah.
or other movies like Civil War and Avengers and things like that. But this time we're going to get to know them intimately in the way that you can only do on TV.
And you just made me think of something that's way more exciting of like a prospect of one, M'Baku's tribe. I believe they said at the beginning of Black Panther they hadn't like been to one of those gatherings in years or something. Like this is the first time they've come down to the mountain to try
Mm.
to challenge the king. So it would be interesting to see a show of them initiating their way back into the politics of what goes on between
Right.
all the tribes. Them saying, okay, it's time for us to come down to the mountain. We've helped fight in your wars. We've helped fight with the king. M'Baku is clearly the most understanding and, worth listening to of those tribesmen's leaders before. So it's interesting to see the idea of like getting this tribe into the circle, and then at the same time introducing, like you said, villains from each tribe that come together to kind of control everything. Because if you think about it, if they go with a death of the king narrative from here on out and say T'Challa has died, there is a power struggle.
Yeah, there's when there's a vacuum like that, everybody's looking to take the top seat.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And, they could just throw it to Shuri, but, there'd be plenty of tribes that would say, got to prove yourself in combat. That's how we've been doing it. Shuri's not a fighter. I mean, she is a fighter, but she's not going to beat
hand to hand.
M'Baku
Yeah,
in a hand-to-hand fight. You know what
right.
I mean? So it's interesting to think where they could go from here, like kind of how you said, the political side, while also introducing us to characters that could really lead the way of the future of the Black Panther lineage and narrative, which it's
Right.
super exciting. Everybody was very excited for the announcement. At first, I was very worried, but as I thought about it more and more, I was like, this could really this might be the best decision they could go with after losing Chadwick.
Yeah, I think so. Um, I I love the idea, because I did read this somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
that there was uh, a thought, somebody thought maybe Killmonger might come back and come back as the Black Panther.
I also saw this theory of, we have we have a character who's kind of breaking reality right now. What if a Killmonger from a different universe got pulled in? A Killmonger who didn't want to cause civil war across the entire the world, but a Killmonger who wanted to fight for his homeland that he loves, Wakanda,
Right.
and became the Black Panther. And they could do that, and I don't think a lot of people would be upset if suddenly they're like, "Yep, it's now a new Eric Killmonger," and they could,
Yeah.
it's very exciting. It's very exciting to see where they could go from here, and I do like that theory a lot. And who knows? Maybe the Wakanda show could deal with that too.
I mean, it's all going to come down. They're going to do the right thing, I hope, and do Chadwick Boseman's memory right. I hope. We'll see.
With Kevin Feige at the helm and how they've been going about it so far, and like Phase 4 was announced, and there were a couple things that I was not sure about. The Loki show was one of those things. I was like, I love Tom Hiddleston, but I don't know if I could watch a whole show focused around Loki. I really thought that. And then they showed the trailer, and we've gotten WandaVision, and they showed the trailer for Falcon and Winter Soldier, and I'm like, all of this Marvel stuff is so freaking exciting that at this point, I don't know if they could do wrong. They know what they have, and they know they're going to, like, make the best decisions about it. So it's very exciting to see where they're going from here.
Yep.
But, so speaking of a comic book movie franchise that's doing really well, let's talk about the DCEU. So the Snyder Cut, which I made a video about the other day on my TikTok.
Oh, God,
humble brag. No, here's the thing. I was just talking about how much I think Zack Snyder has like this huge ego, getting bigger and bigger and bigger because of this whole Snyder Cut thing. And of course, as I make this video, more and more news starts coming out about the Snyder Cut. They showed a little tease of like Jared Leto's Joker in the Snyder Cut. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's exciting. And they just announced that the movie's going to be rated R. Is that going to change anything?
No. And here's the thing. I read that Aquaman dies. Did you read that?
No. Is that
Aquaman dies, and they invite Mira to join the Justice League, who is Amber Heard, by the way, who still has not been canceled, which is bullshit.
If that happens, I'm gonna hate the Snyder Cut more than I should.
So the rumor that I read that rumors will happen that Aquaman and Wonder Woman both die.
Okay.
And then Flash has to go back in time and save them. So this is like what I've heard. I don't see. Here's the thing: people are really building up for the Snyder Cut. I think they're setting themselves up for a huge letdown.
Oh yeah, so yeah, the end of that video that I did. The video was all about the posters that came out. They came out with 3 posters, and it's like the Justice League logo in crumbles and ruin, and I'm like, okay. And then the other one was like a Justice League flag standing ripped on a pile of rubble, and I'm like, all right, those don't really make sense because, again, this is the Justice League's first movie together, so I guess maybe there's going to be some, fall of the Justice League in the future, kind of like what you were saying, Aquaman dies, Wonder Woman dies, and blah, 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 blah. Whatever, that's fine. The third poster is, I kid you not, the film, like the actual film reel in its container, and it says Snyder on it, Snyder Cut on it, with like a spotlight hitting it in all of this rubble. And all I'm thinking is like, this is the biggest egotistical BS I've ever seen. This is literally, I say, like, the hands of God have reached down and said, here's your missing masterpiece. Like, but the movie's probably not going to be that good.
Honestly, like, how there's
no
things
way
in there
they
that
could save this.
You're not going to be able to fix with a different direction. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to be able to make Cyborg likable. You're not unless you're planning on redoing his entire CGI outfit. You're not going to make his CGI very compelling.
Apparently, the original cut of the film that we're going to be seeing focuses a lot more heavily on Cyborg. And honestly, I'm excited for them to try to make him better. If it was Joss Whedon who ruined Cyborg in Justice League, that's fine. I'm excited to see what they could change. But that doesn't change the fact that the entire plot of that movie was garbage.
Like, it was silly. It was
silly. And just adding an extra 2 hours and some time travel's not going to, like, I don't know. Like, honestly, it's probably going to be better. I think we could both probably agree.
And can't be much worse.
Exactly. I'm sure it's going to be better. I'm sure there's going to be great moments in it. I'm sure we're going to be geeking out about some of those moments. overall, it's not going to suddenly revamp the DCEU.
No,
They're not
no.
going to go, oh, well, people really like the Snyder Cut. Might as well get that Ader Cut going for the Suicide Squad. Like,
yeah, we've got all this like movement happening, and they're like rebranding and rebooting and doing all these things in the midst of everything that's still happening. Like, you can't tell what's canon, what's not.
Exactly, and that's what I've been pushing is like I like some of that because that's what the DC kind of focused on a lot more in the comics. Like Marvel had very different universes, but they let you know. DC messes with different alternate realities constantly, so the idea of us having all these different types of movies is great. Joker was a prime example of that. But I don't want this Snyder Cut to happen and them going, you know what, we should, do a Man of Steel 2. As much as I would love it, I don't want more of the DCEU. I want them to keep doing these side projects. Like,
I don't know. I liked Aquaman. I thought Aquaman was good.
I thought Aquaman was good too, but
I liked both the Wonder Woman movies, although I thought the last one was a little sillier than the first one.
Sure, and that's the other people crapped all over that Wonder Woman movie, and I'm just thinking to myself like I thought it was fun, and like,
Gal Gadot, she's got the high boots on, Scotty.
No, stop it! I'm sick of you. But so again, back to the original point. This 4-hour movie. By the way, they said they were going to break it up into 4 one-hour-long parts, which I think makes it a little bit more palatable. But this is literally going to be a 4-hour movie. They said they're back to just a 4-hour film that is going to be rated R. What will a rated R do? Like they said, it's for language and violence.
Oh boy,
that's what it's for. I cannot wait for Batman to be dropping F-bombs and Superman to rip a guy in half. That's really what I'm excited for, because that's what I like to see from my Batman and Superman. Are you shitting me? And then like when Batman v Superman came out, people at like a convention or something asked they asked Zack Snyder, like, why did you have Batman killing people in Batman v Superman? Because he straight up kills dude. Like,
well, yeah, he's got it's
like henchmen.
His car has a tank gun on it, and he's blowing it up.
And his response was along the lines of like, in the real world, Batman and Superman would kill people, and he related them to like, your heroes are the politicians, and not every politician is all goody two-shoes, squeaky clean. And I'm like, we're talking about Superman and Batman.
It seems like he's missing the point.
He's missing the point completely. Like, and then somebody was saying, somebody commented something along the lines of like, oh, well, Batman in Batman v Superman is the Dark Knight Returns Batman, where he's more brooding, and he's like, and I'm like, sure, that's fine, but overall, Batman's whole reason is that he doesn't kill people, or he's just like the people that he puts away.
Right.
Like, that's his whole purpose. That's his whole, like, motto. And I can't believe that somebody who loves the character so much would be like, oh, yeah, they would totally kill people, and that's badass.
Yeah, you can't go around start saying what his superheroes would do in real life, because then you're gonna kind of unravel that whole thread.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I don't know. I'm over Zack Snyder. That's what it is. I'm over Zack Snyder. Over him as a person. I'm excited for his future stuff. Like that, we were talking about that Army of the Dead movie where it's like a zombie heist film. Like, I'm excited for that. I really am. It's a Zack Snyder film, but I'm excited for it. At least that movie, he can't ruin Superman. So, all right. So my last news thing is kind of pointless now, because I think we have our answer. So
yeah,
I think we're gonna do our recommendations now, so we can talk about WandaVision. So Tank, what do you have today for a recommendation?
All right, so you can find my recommendation on Netflix right now. It's an action movie called Mile 22 with Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, I've heard of this.
It's a great action flick. Lauren Cohan is in it. A guy named Iko Uwais. I hope I'm saying that right. John Malkovich is in it. Ronda Rousey. I mean, that's a good cast.
Mhm.
So basically, it's a CIA wet team that takes care of problems, and Mark Wahlberg's the head of it. It's full of action. The guy, his name is Iko Uwais, is an action star waiting to happen.
Oh,
Such. I mean, like his fight scenes are so good in this movie. The intrigue is awesome. Mark Wahlberg talking shit is awesome, and it leaves you on a cliffhanger. So setting up for a sequel. So I would say a sequel probably will be coming soon. So you might want to watch this. And I'm a sucker for action.
Oh, that's why. I thought the name was recognizable. You've never seen The Raid, have you?
I have seen The Raid. Yeah,
He's from The Raid. He's Rama
is
from,
he from The Raid?
He's
Oh,
Rama
okay.
from The Raid. You're like, he's an action
the new-
star waiting to happen. I was like, that name seems so familiar. I believe he's an action star.
In America. Is it
Well, yeah, touche.
By the way, the new RoboCop movie was just a Raid ripoff.
Yes, it is, and I hate it.
Yeah, it's terrible.
I hated that movie so much. Mainly because I love RoboCop so much. But that's great. I've been looking for another good, like, just kind of do nothing action movie.
It's got some fun twists, and John Malkovich is awesome.
I love John Malkovich. So that would be a very entertaining watch. Okay, so my recommendation for today is Justice League. No. Mine is going to be Fargo. We were talking about it a little bit last week, and it made me rewatch it. And God, I love that movie so much. William H. Macy and Frances McDermott. Is that?
Yep,
no,
that's right.
Okay, cool. She's
She won an
fantastic.
Oscar for that.
She did win an Oscar for that, didn't she? She is so amazing in this film. And just, I don't know, the idea of these very kind and loving, it's Minnesota, isn't it? Is where it takes place?
Fargo, I believe, is North Dakota.
North Dakota? Oh, wait. They have that like accent that's just so loving.
Hey, how you doing there?
Hey, how you doing there, eh? Like
It's practically Canadian.
Yeah, exactly. They're practically Canadian. They have such a loving like way they speak, and they're so like everything is revolved around the idea that they are just nice people, but there's all this horrible stuff going on, and they still kind of keep that going. You know what I mean? Like William H. Macy is trying to plan a kidnap of his wife, and he's just trying to be like, well, I gotta tell you there, she can't know that I paid you to do this, you know, and it's just it's so great, and I don't know, there's so much to love about it. Frances McDormand is honestly some of the best in that movie, especially in the opening when she because she's pregnant during the movie, and I believe she gets morning sickness while they're like looking at a body or something. It's something like that, and she like moves to the side, and the guy's like, "Oh, the body getting to you?" And she's like, "Oh, don't worry about me. It's morning sickness." It's a good movie. I love that movie. I hope everybody watches Fargo and The Social Network and Justice League and Juno and Jennifer's. You know what? All right, so we're gonna move on to our WandaVision talk.
I like it.
So this episode was big, especially. So first off, general impressions. Tank really enjoyed it, I imagine.
I loved it. It was the best one yet, I thought.
That's what I've been seeing a lot of people saying. It's the best episode yet. And honestly, I kind of have to agree. There's so much going on. You're getting so much of what everything is supposed to be and means. Like, I feel like it's just going to be an upswing from here. Like, the way people are acting is just going to be similar to everything. I'll explain more as we go into spoilers. But, so yes, I really enjoyed it. I hope you all watch it. It's really good. We're going to talk about spoilers now. So this episode was huge. The news story I was talking about was along the lines of that Elizabeth Olsen said that there is a Luke Skywalker level cameo in WandaVision. And honestly, we might have gotten it today in this episode. I say might have because I don't necessarily know if I would put Quicksilver from the Fox universe on par with Luke Skywalker. So I'm feeling it could get better from here.
Well, first of all, who is the astrophysicist engineer that Kat Dennings was talking about calling?
I believe it's the guy from Thor.
Eric Selvig?
Yeah, Selvig. I
Okay.
think that's who she's talking about.
Okay, so there's that going on, and then the fact that this is the other Quicksilver
Yes.
lends credence to your idea about her creating the X-Men.
Yes, exactly. So this is very much like, and honestly, so people have pointed out that the house number on their home is in reference to a comic where she pulls things from different universes. So they could be teasing the idea that she not only like kind of creates the X-Men, but also, you know, Quicksilver's not alive in this universe. So she got a Pietro that is.
So here's something that I find interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like she's not in control as she says she is, or she thinks she is.
No.
I feel like somebody else is puppeteering her. And it is I think it's Catherine Hahn.
Okay, so I have to say, by the way, because you brought her up, Catherine Hahn is so amazing in this show.
Yeah.
She might be my favorite actress in this show. Like, she's killing it.
Mm-hmm.
Next to Paul Bettany, because Paul Bettany is pulling off everything perfectly.
Yeah.
I could not help but have this huge smile when he walked into the kitchen on the kids with the dog, and he says, "Morning, wife, morning, children," and it just feels so like 80s, just for it to very quickly change when he starts realizing everything's going wrong. So he's having a great range, but Catherine Hahn, with her completely breaking character essentially and saying, do you want me to take that again? So crazy.
Which says to me that while everybody else is just in it, she knows what's going on.
She has some form of free will. She doesn't question that the boys are aging rapidly. I bet you Vision could probably show her his face and she wouldn't react at all because she knows.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And we've had trailers for this show where he does like the little mind meld on her. So I'm thinking, so she either knows what's going on or she doesn't, but she still has some weird form of free will.
Mm-hmm.
It's very interesting. Catherine Hahn is really selling it. She's so stellar in this. And honestly, if she does turn out to be like, I believe the name of the character is Agatha, who's like the evil witch, who's a big like villain for Scarlet Witch. I would love if she would become like a reoccurring villain. Like WandaVision wasn't her only thing. Because she's so great.
I also loved that they answered some questions for us.
They
for instance, the fact that we found out that Vision's actually Vision. She stole his body from the lab,
which a lot of people were predicting that was exactly what she did.
That's so interesting to me. She came out of the world that she created to confront the Sword people, which I thought was also very, very interesting.
Which confirms that she has some semblance of what's going on and she's aware of it and she doesn't want it to stop. Right. By the way, that scene, how perfect was it that the entire time we see those little green lines from the guns pointing at her, and then the moment that she like mind melds all the other guys and then they all turn on him at the same time. Oh, I got chills in that moment because I'm like, oh, she's so freaking cool, dude.
I thought they were gonna smoke him. I really did think they were gonna smoke him.
No, you know why they didn't? And it's because he's gonna be the main villain of this show.
You think?
Yeah. They're setting him up as the guy who does not care who Wanda is or her past or anything. He's the guy who sees her only as a threat. Where, you know, Rambeau's coming in like, no, she's a person, like, you know, trying to help Wanda as opposed to him shooting a missile at her.
You know, there was a couple of things too I found interesting in this. Lago's paper towels I thought was like a brilliant, like.
Well, also, Okay, so tell me, you did not realize what they were saying until that tagline at the end of the commercial, right?
No, I knew.
You knew?
I knew what Lagos was.
Well, no, I knew that they were referencing Lagos, but I just didn't realize that because the like tagline
Oh
for
yeah,
the commercial
I
was
didn't
the
know
whole
what they
like,
were. I didn't know what they were getting at.
yes,
That comes off to me as a bit of an apology. I felt like.
right. It felt like because it's a reminder to not only the people watching this now, but
Right.
also a reminder that she didn't mean to cause all that damage
Right.
in Civil War. And
Right.
that was part of the main plot of the film is people thinking that she's unstable and uncontrollable. But she did the best she could. And it caused a really bad problem. So it's the the messes that you didn't mean to cause or something like that,
Right.
which is so brilliant writing.
I mean, it's such amazing like dressing because you like it's not part of the main story. It's
No.
just and the way that this was a send up of Family Ties. This was the
Yes, this show
what
was
the sitcom was,
right.
and they do such an amazing job of homaging that without like making it directly that.
Oh my God, were you also like dying of laughter at the opening theme song?
Yes, it was amazing. I was like, I was
was
listening for cues too, like for clues about like maybe, but that there wasn't anything there.
No, but I will say the song that they sang for that opening theme song, kind of good.
I mean, it would work as an '80s
It totally would.
sitcom
Like,
for sure. So I mean, there's just like the level of creativity that goes into making this show
so good
because there's two shows going on. You know
there
what I
is,
mean? Like,
yeah.
and I love it. And I'm did you notice there's something between Captain Marvel and
Yes,
Maria
and
Rambo?
Monica.
I get her name
Yeah,
wrong.
the mother is Maria. But yeah, so my prediction there is that she never came back, and Monica's a little sore about it.
She never came back
Captain
to see her
Marvel
mom.
Captain Marvel never came back.
Oh, and she said she would come back.
Exactly. Come back for little trouble is what she called the little girl, Monica, when she was young. And now, she died. Maria died before seeing Captain Marvel again. So there you go. That's probably something that makes her a little sore about her. Also, can we talk about how they've never said Scarlet Witch in the MCU?
Yes, and they actively
pointed that out.
avoided it in the thing.
Like she doesn't have some dumb code name or something. Is
Right.
the whoever the leader of the guy is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, she doesn't have some dumb code name. Jimmy Woo, by the way, we're just all over the place. Jimmy Woo is so incredible in this show.
He's a superstar, man. And
He's
I saw
so
a thing
good.
that said what we need is a series of him doing like stuff like the X-Files, but it's
Yes.
for Marvel Universe stuff,
Yes.
for kind of like the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but with a little bit more of him like going to figure out what's going on.
And I don't know if you know this, in the comics, Agent Woo is like he leads his own like Avengers style team. Like he's his own like Nick Fury.
Really?
Yeah, it's like a whole Asian American led team. So who knows? Maybe one day we'll get him leading his own team. Randall Park is a superstar, and I'd love to see him do more.
He really is awesome. That Always Be My Maybe, which he wrote, is so good.
Always Be My Maybe?
On Netflix, an original with him and Ali Wong.
Oh, that's right. Oh my God, I didn't know he wrote that.
Did you watch that?
No.
Oh, you should watch that.
I got to. That's another recommendation.
Best believe I punched Keanu Reeves.
Also,
it's so good.
Also, by the way, him walking in with like this kind of like weird. The shot changes to his windbreaker, like he's like a man on a mission. I don't think anybody else laughed at this like I did. It's like a shot of his windbreaker, FBI, walking through, man on a mission, and then the shot changes around to the other side.
and he's got coffee.
He's got a coffee, and he's got this big smile on his face. I love him. I love him so much.
He's so awesome, dude. He's such
so awesome.
He's such a good, he's like fun comic relief, but he's not an idiot. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
he's really, and that's what they did. They showed off how like caring he is about everything. Like
Yeah.
he understands every event that's happened in the MCU so well because he likes it and he's interested. He doesn't see these people as threats. Kind of like how the leader guy is like, oh, she doesn't have some dumb silly name, and he's like, no. Like he said it along the lines of like, no, she's Wanda. Like, what are you,
Right.
stupid? Kind of deal. Like, you clearly haven't done the debriefing, but I have. He's smart. He's lovable. And God, does Randall Park just sell it. He
He really
sells it
does.
so well. Can we talk about how she got a CAT scan and it came back all like blurry or something and they didn't know what was going on? That was her. That is literally the shape of her neck, but it's all light. So she got powers.
She got powers from the shot.
I think Wanda gave her the powers of
Oh.
Photon because Photon, her character in the comics, she is essentially pure energy and she can manipulate like light and energy. So when they did the CAT scan, they're like, oh yeah, this doesn't make any sense. It's literally in the shape of her neck where they did the CAT scan. And it's all white light.
Huh.
She's got powers, dude. And that's super exciting. They're going to push that too. We got another hero. It's just so good. I love what they're doing with this show.
Yeah.
Oh, God. And then, okay, so let's talk a little bit about the fact that Vision is figuring this stuff out. He figured it out, kind of, by the end of it.
He seems almost scared of her.
Yes, because he's realizing that something's wrong. He's realizing that whatever's happening is not real.
And I think that she also knows that something's wrong, but I think she's just so caught up in keeping what she has that she's trying to not, ruin it.
She's thinking this is definitely wrong, but the thing is, I get Vision alive.
Right. And she has a whole family, and now her brother's back.
Oh my God. So we started with that and then immediately moved away from it. What the hell does this mean now? Because she said it was a cameo level. I don't think this is a cameo. He's going to be in the show for at least a couple episodes now.
If not in the show, definitely in the universe.
Yeah. Because she just pulled him in out of nowhere. Right. Also, I love the way that Kat Denning says, oh my God, she recast Pietro.
That's amazing. That was amazing. What a great meta moment that was.
Brilliant. And all I'm thinking is like, so what does this mean? Because she pulled essentially a Pietro that's alive from another universe, the Fox universe. So is he going to be in the MCU now? Like, do we have Quicksilver back, but it's Evan Peters? Like, I don't know. I'm blown away by it. I'm really shocked.
He's better Quicksilver anyway.
Well, see, I liked Quicksilver in Age of Ultron. He grew on me, I think, on the second watch or something. But the problem is, Fox just made Quicksilver fun. So that's what I loved about him. So I'm excited to see this Evan Peters, and clearly they're implying the whole, like, mixing of universes and everything. It's so funny because we know that it's going to be multiverse stuff. We know that that's where Phase 4 is going. But now that we're actually, like, dipping our toes in the water of multiverse, I'm so giddy because it still doesn't seem real. It doesn't seem real, but we have it, like, right in front of us, and that's so exciting. I don't know what they're going to do. Like, is he going to have his powers? Is he going to be super speedy in the next episode? Like,
and what's up with those kids being able to age themselves up?
Yeah, I think that is super strange, but I think it's also because they don't exist. Like, they're not real. They're not real people. You know what I mean?
Are they? Like, what are they?
I think they're literally just like something that she created, but it's not real. So they have this sort of awareness that they can change themselves.
Yeah.
By the way, I figured out the names of the superheroes that they grow up to be. It's Speedy and Wiccan. One of them is a speedster like Quicksilver, and the other one it has magical powers like Scarlet Witch. By the way, in the scene when they're like the clothes that they're wearing, the colors are of their superhero outfits from the comics.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, so they're heavy-handedly being like, so this is who they are. So that's super exciting. And in the comics, when the whole facade comes down, their like souls of who they are and their powers go into two other random kids in the universe, and then they come back together. So we could be seeing Speedy and Wiccan in like the real MCU soon. So that's very exciting. Are you reading up on something? Are you
I'm looking at the costumes, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. This show is amazing. I'm blown away by what they've been able to do. And after the last episode, everybody was predicting stuff like, you know, okay, so are we going to go back to sitcom world for a couple episodes and then check up on like the real life? And no, like this was the best of both worlds.
I love the balance that they've struck. I mean, I feel like it is the best of both worlds.
It really is. And I feel like this is what I was saying earlier, where like now we know like Sword's going to be trying to get in contact with Wanda and they're going to be messing up things. Kat Dennings, Randall Park, and I forget the name of the actress, but the woman who plays Monica Rambeau, Photon, they're going to be trying to help Wanda while Sword is going after her. Wanda's trying to keep it all together. Vision is starting to figure things out and losing it because of it. Catherine Hahn might be showing her colors a lot more soon enough.
Yeah.
I really feel like this is what the progression of the show is going to be from now on, is just those dynamics and how they're going to really affect each other. The ending of this episode, before we get to the Evan Peters, I think that's what everybody's talking about now, obviously, is Quicksilver showing up, and I still can't believe it just saying it. But let's talk about the fact that Vision and Scarlet Witch had a fight. Vision and Wanda were fighting each other, like arguing. And to stop the fight, Wanda started rolling the credits. And they were fighting under the credits until eventually, like, the credits just broke.
Because she couldn't keep everything going
Exactly.
at once,
It's like,
yeah.
They looked like they were gonna fight each other. Like he started flying.
Yeah,
and
they
she
took
started flying back.
defensive stances for sure.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
What do we got? 4 episodes left?
4 episodes left.
It's gonna be a lot happening in the next 4 episodes.
I know, and honestly, it's by the time they're over, I think we're gonna have a Falcon and Winter Soldier to look forward to.
That's awesome. That's great news.
Yeah, I think we're gonna just consistently be getting Marvel content throughout the year.
I love this show, man. I was so skeptical at first, but I really like it now.
I'm gonna have to, like, by the end of WandaVision, by the end of our rewatch, I'm gonna literally look up us talking about Phase 4. Just so I can find a clip of you being like, this WandaVision thing, man, it's not doing it for me, or something like that. Because you were definitely poo-pooing it, and I was just like, I'm telling you, man, it's going to be something. That was the thing I was most excited for in Phase 4, was like the idea of a sitcom world mixed in with superheroes, and you were just like, I don't think that's going to work. But MCU did it.
I was totally wrong.
MCU did it.
I think I was wrong about Tom Brady.
How did you bring up Tom Brady in 2 podcasts?
Because I hate his guts.
All right. Well, I think with that, we're going to end it. Tank, God, how are you feeling?
Feeling good, man. I might go rewatch the episode again.
I'm not kidding you. I might too. Honestly, like last week, I thought, oh, God, I cannot wait until Friday. This week, I'm like, Friday needs to come now. I need to know what happens. And it's sad, too. We're not going to be doing an episode next Friday. Tank, you're going to be moving, which is crazy, and I'm going to potentially be getting COVID. So, I mean, being at Disney. So, it's going to be a little crazy. So we're gonna probably come out with our review episode not late, but early into the following week, maybe like Monday or Tuesday or something. So that's why this episode, next week's episode, won't be out just on time. But we're gonna be super excited. We're gonna be ready to talk about it the moment we come back into the podcast. So thank you all so much again for listening and watching on YouTube at No Talking During the Movies on YouTube, and following us on our Instagram, also at No Talking During the Movies. But I think that's gonna do it. Tank, how are you feeling? I already asked you.
Again, feeling really good.
Dude, talking about this show gets me, man. Like Mandalorian was so much fun recapping it, but this has been like, this is just new Marvel content. Like we knew Mandalorian was gonna be good, but this has been like mind blowing as we've been watching it.
So refreshing,
very refreshing. So I'm excited to talk about it next week. But I think that's gonna do it for us today. Once again, I am your host, Stephen Austin,
and I'm Tank,
and we will see you guys next time for more WandaVision. All right.